Hang on, it's not all doom and gloom. India can even get to the World Test Championship final if they lose that series in Australia. How? Well, India's race to the final of the World Test Championship has been messed up pretty badly. It's a royal mess. Remember, India are the only team to have qualified for the finals of the first two editions of the World Test Championships. Obviously, they couldn't win the first edition, they lost to New Zealand. They couldn't win the second edition, they lost to Australia. We all thought, nice and merrily, India would make a historic hat-trick. Well, New Zealand created history. They whitewashed India 3-0 in a home series in India. Wow, this never happened before. India have never lost 3-0 in a test series at home. This is India's first whitewash at home since 99-2000. Who remembers those times? It is, like I said, a proper mess. At one point, India looked like convincing favourites to reach the WTC final of the third edition, way ahead of anyone else. Now, what do they need to do to get there? It's tight. It's really tense. To put it simply, India could have assured themselves of a place if they had won these three test matches against New Zealand and maybe one or two in Australia. Now that's not going to help. The simple equation is for India to go to Australia and win 4-0. Now you'd say, kya badi baat hai yaar, we've done that in the past. No, it's not that easy. Take a step back, think about it. India have been losing test matches at home for a bit now. 3 years ago, they lost to England. Fine, an aberration under Virat Kohli. You didn't lose too many test matches at home. India lost to Australia sometime last year in one of the Border Gavaskar Trophy matches. At the start of the year, India lost a game that they should have won against England. And well, you saw what happened against New Zealand. India lost in Bangalore in overcast conditions. India lost in Pune and Mumbai, pitches that were raging turners, so to say. India's home ground advantage nullified by the Black Caps. Now, this Indian team, battered, low on confidence, travels to Australia, where they play these guys, the Kangaroos, in 5 test matches. Never easy. The first test match is in Perth. Then you move to Adelaide. Remember, Adelaide is where they were shot out for 36 all those years ago. Of course, that seems like a distant past, but think about it again. Virat Kohli not in form, Rohit Sharma not in form, the bowlers little iffy here and there, and you're travelling without Cheteshwar Pujara, who played heroic roles in both their previous victories down under. Ajinkya Rahane has been pretty gutsy. Of course, you have Rishabh Pant, who's been feisty in Australia over the last several years. So you have that cushion, and you have some very, very promising youngsters who are blossoming into fine young players. It'll be interesting to see, for instance, how Shubman Gill also pulls up under pressure. Remember, he also played a fascinating knock in that historic Brisbane Test match victory. What's to think about it? 4-0, win in Australia. Teams haven't done that. You just don't go to Australia and smash them 4-0. I mean, Australia could be vulnerable. They are also struggling to figure out who their opening batter could be after David Warner's retirement. Is it that easy? No, sir, it is not. You have a lethal pace attack, and then you have to contend with the off-spin of Nathan Lyon, who is exceptionally good and very, very good in Aussie conditions. But hang on, it's not all doom and gloom. India can even get to the World Test Championship final if they lose that series in Australia. How? Well, specifically, they need to lose 2-3. Remember, 2-3 to Australia, and that's the graphic on your screen. Of course, for that to happen, for India to lose 2-3 to Australia and then reach the final of the WTC, there are certain other equations that have to fall. What are those conditions? Remember, there are several other teams also vying for that spot for the WTC. What then? New Zealand, who recently created history in India, they are playing England. They need to draw 1-1 against England. South Africa have 2 remaining test matches at home against Sri Lanka and Pakistan. Again, very specific. South Africa need to draw 1-1 in both their remaining series. And Australia need to draw 0-0 in Sri Lanka. Wow, that's something. I mean, when you go to Sri Lanka and you think Sri Lanka are going to serve flat pitches to the Australians, I don't think that's going to happen. And Sri Lanka have some really potent spinners in their ranks. And to be able to, figure out how New Zealand can draw 1-1 with England, that's tough. I mean, New Zealand are going to be, again, extremely perked up after that 3-0 triumph in India and England. Mind you, they lost that series in Pakistan, but you come into those small grounds in New Zealand and you have that firepower from England. They can really bash a bowling attack, and nobody can do it like England these days. It's spicy. Remember, India are still in the run for the WTC final. And hey, again, hang on. This is a tour of Australia. Remember, 3 years ago, when India won in Australia, almost 4 years back, they had to win that series to get to the final. And they won that series without their superstars. It can happen again. What do you guys think? Can India bounce back from their 0-3 defeat to New Zealand and make it to the final of the World Test Championship? Or are their WTC dreams over? If you're excited to see what happens next, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe for all the latest updates on India's World Test Championship journey.